Hey guys, it's Carrie, the Invisible Goddess. It's been a while, hasn't it? I'm back. I have big plans for the channel for 2023, so I thought I'd share them with you. But first, what's kept me away, right? So I have been doing some major renovations on my home, as well as, my full-time job has been keeping me busy. So things have changed, and I now have a lot of time on my hands. And the work on the house, the major renovation that I outsourced, meaning paid somebody else to do, has been taken care of. And I can concentrate on bringing content to the channel, living out my YouTube dreams, as well as some less major repairs on the house. I can do those myself. So let's talk about what you can expect from this channel in 2023, and be on the lookout for some full videos on some of these items, not all, but some of them. All right, so there are going to be some challenges, and I'm going to start off with the biggest one, that being I am doing a no-buy year, both crafty and in general. So with no buys, everybody does them differently. This will have a full video of its own. And for me, there are going to be some rules, and doesn't mean I'm not going to be purchasing anything. I need, so popular. I'm going to need to buy food and things like that. And I've set a budget, and we'll talk more about that. But as it pertains to the channel, I'm doing a crafty no buy, and I'm very excited to share that with you. I think it's going to help me be much more creative with what I make during the year. Part of that is I want to use up some stockpiles that I have in the house, both like food and toilet paper and stuff like that in the general category, and then things like fabric and yarn in the crafty category. So number 2, we are going to be doing some Swedish Death Cleaning. If you don't know what that is, it's basically where you go through your own shit so your family doesn't have to after you're gone. I did a little bit of that when I moved house. I am still going through my dad's stuff, as well as mine. I'm not completely putting it on him. I have my own crap that I don't want anybody else to have to deal with, so we're going to be doing that. Along in with that, there's probably going to be some KonMari method, if you're aware of that, Marie Kondo. She had a thing on Netflix. I was aware of her before Netflix, but it's basically where you go through everything, pull it all together, and decide what sparks joy. Well, not a lot sparks joy for me, so that's not a good gauge of what I should keep and what I shouldn't. So we're gonna kind of take elements from that and make it work for me. I'm really excited about number 3, and that is UFOs. If you go back on the channel, if you've been here for a while, you know that I'm trying to clean up my UFOs, and I swear I have done well with it. I didn't have a whole lot to begin with. I think I started off with 12 in 2017 or 2018, some dating back 20 years, and I was able to whittle that down, and of course I've gained some, so that's what, 6 years ago. So I have more to add to the pile, and I want to get them done. And not only do I want to get them done in the full year, I want to get them done in the first half of the year. That will get its own video, as well as follow-up videos. And yes, I'm looking at notes. You can probably see the computer screen. Okay, so it kind of goes along with UFOs, this is number 4, but not quite. So when I do a big project, like a blanket for somebody, which, if you don't know, you only get a blanket out of me if I love you. So when I do that, if I have leftover yarn or I miscalculate or whatever. There's sometimes squares or motifs, African flower motifs left over, and I have those set aside. They're not UFOs because I never had any intention, like known intention. I was just doing it because, I don't know, maybe that's the only yarn I had with me and I needed to keep my hands busy. So they all got put in a container, and now I'm going to pull them out and make something with them because I don't need pieces just hanging around. So number 5. Did I tell you? I think I put 10 together, a list of 10 things. So number 5 is tutorials. I really like doing the tutorials that I have already done on this channel. And one of the things that I do, just how my brain works, it's not just crafty stuff. I do this with a lot of things. I will research and research and research and research. And a lot of it is watching videos on YouTube, but I'll research and research, and I'll work out the kinks in my head and then go right into the project, not flawlessly, but with a lot less challenges than I would have had if I just jumped right in after watching 1 or 2 videos. For example, I did a lot of research on, I have a cat sneezing in the background. Nope. I did a lot of research on chapstick holders because I wanted to bring that into production. They looked easy enough to make, but everybody's video that I watched, I didn't like how they looked. They could have used the nicest fabric in the world, and I love the fabric, but there was the sneeze. The construction methods that they used, I just didn't like the finished product, like how it looked construction-wise. Again, fabric was fine. So, not as a tutorial on chapstick holders, but a different tutorial stumbled upon how to fix that. So I'm going to bring that to you, and I haven't seen anybody else's tutorial that looks like this. So, like, quality improvement, it's part of what I do for my real job. So I bring that to everything that I do, and it just comes along with the crafty stuff too. You guys have probably heard me talk about Christmas at Sea. If you haven't previously, there are some videos coming up where I talk about that. And I'm bringing you along with my journey. This will be my 3rd year creating donation items for them. I'll give you a spoiler. I made 138, I think, ditty bags in 2021. I gave myself a goal of 300 ditty bags in 2022. And I met that goal. I made them and shipped them off. Thank God they go to New Jersey and I'm in Maryland, so the shipping wasn't that horrible. And it's a great cause. There'll be a whole video on that. I've talked about it before. It's to honor my dad. You know, part of the reason I did that was to not only honor my dad, but to use up some of the ridiculous amount of freaking fabric that I have. Again, spoiler, it barely touched. Barely touched. It's 30 pounds worth of stuff to them this year, it's 2022 while I'm filming this. And it barely made a dent in my fabric. More so this year than last year, but we're still trying to get that down. I have too much stuff. So number 7, speaking of too much stuff, for somebody that doesn't paper craft, I have a lot of paper crafting supplies. So we're going to do something about that in 2023. And I don't think I'm doing any tutorials on that because you wouldn't want to learn from me, but I'm going to take you along, and there's going to be some craft with me and planner stuff going on there, because that's probably how I'll use it. Like, I'm not into cards or scrapbooking at all. Number 8, podcasts. So I intend a full year of crafting. Like, that is my intention this year. I want to craft my ass off. I want to make something every day. Again, I'm trying to not use up my stash, but use my stash. I have an overabundance of things, and I'd like to have just an abundance. I don't need the excess, and I have it, which goes back to my no buy. Not only am I not buying it, I'm trying to use it, actively use it. So that was kind of 9. I intend to craft from my stash this year. I'm doing craft alongs. I'm really digging drawing recently, like pen and ink. Fell in love with my Pitt pens again, and microns, both. Again, I can't teach you any techniques there, like at this point, because I don't have them, but I can bring you along and hopefully inspire you to use your stuff too. Along the lines of that, I'm going to be kitting up some supplies, so I can just grab and go whenever I want to create or start a new project or things like that. I don't have to go through the trouble of putting everything together, because I will have already gone through that trouble when I didn't feel like creating but wanted to be productive. That's what I'm going to be doing. When I want to create, I want to be able to just grab and go and go like I go anywhere, but grab and start, I should say. So number 10, there are some surprises I have planned. I don't particularly want to commit myself officially to them, to you guys. I'm committing myself in my head to them anyway, but that's some projects around the house, some organizational stuff, as well as some finishing touches on some stuff that's already been started, either by me or by the contractors that I told you have completed their work in the house. All right, guys, that is the plan. Don't forget to subscribe so you can stay tuned for all that fun that we have planned. And until then, peace out, homies.